When I started the book, I really was just going to write a slightly funny adventure story about buying a blow-up canoe and then deciding to do 120 miles of the Birmingham Canal network. And it was just going to be kind of quite a funny sort of story, and I was going to eventually find the Birmingham otters, which they kind of famously, there are some actual otters in the canal network in Birmingham. So that was the plan, and then it kind of went completely the opposite way.
So was it whilst you were kayaking around the canals? Is it because you had your time alone, time to think, that you started re-evaluating your life?
I mean, there was definitely an element of that. It's really hard to sort of say, if I didn't find that boat, would I be here? I think I probably would be here, whatever, but somehow that whole thing of giving yourself 3 or 4 hours in a day just paddling, it's a very quiet, meditative thing to do. And it was also really away from the things that I was doing. You know, I stopped gardening while I did it. So I stopped doing all the normal things that kind of kept me in a sort of routine and a place.
And
suddenly,
away from your husband, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, I came home every night. So I wasn't kind of sleeping on the sides of the canal. So, so it wasn't so much that, but more that, like, the gardening had become a real prop. Like, I did it, and it kept me, I felt like I gardened and that kept me sane. And then I stopped gardening and it felt like things began to sort of, not unravel, but like I suddenly had all this time to explore these ideas in my head. And like I say, the canals are beautiful and they're full of wonderful nature, and they're like this kind of ribbon of a park that runs all the way through Birmingham. But nothing much happens, so you have a lot of time to think.
You've got a lot of coarse fishermen.
Yes, you do.
I know, because I really identify with the idea behind your book, because a few years ago, I was married to someone that I absolutely had made a big mistake. So I walked from my house in London. I decided to walk along water to Yorkshire, and I kept a diary, so I did exactly what you did. I walked along the Thames and then up the Grand Union Canal, and I got to Nottingham before I got him out of the house and I was able to go back. But I know exactly what you're talking about, because the canal, nothing happens.
Yeah.
You get a few coarse fishermen with attitude.
Yeah.
You have to step round.
Yeah.
But it is a time, walking like kayaking happens at such a slow pace.
And it's very rhythmic. And so you really, and it's like, I mean, it's a bit like actually weeding in the garden. You do this thing and it's become such a rhythm that you get into that kind of magical flow and your head can go all over the place.
But it started off as a gardening book and then turned into a completely different book, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I always
discovered
thought
a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
You came out.
I came out.
You basically came out on this journey.
Yes. Yeah, essentially, it kind of became the. I mean, there's many kind of little journeys in the book, and one of the other sort of journeys is about female friendship. So I started kayaking with 2 friends, Ming and Sarah, who are married to each other, and so it also became a journey of kind of our friendship and me having like this wonderful kind of these 2 just amazing women as kind of a role model and as a kind of there was this like other element.
But it was through them that you met Charlotte, wasn't it?
I met her through work, actually.
Oh, right. So